Hear me out. Irrational fears. You know? Like, when I was a kid, actually, when I am now, I am still scared of the deep blue sea, right? Because there's a lot of things about the deep blue sea that I'm scared of. So one of them is the fact that number one is unknown, right? There's really nothing for you to know. We've explored space more than we've explored the deep ocean, right? And it's a scary aspect. You know, it's a scary aspect how we've explored more of our ocean. I mean, more of of the space than our ocean. Another one is sharks. Honestly, sharks are one of those animals that for some reason I'm so scared of. Even though there's only like maybe 2 sharks out there that could that are considered to be like a danger to humans. Right, there's only 2 man-eating sharks out there. So there you go. I think there's more. I'm trying to say is that the shark statistic, the amount of people that get killed by sharks is less than the amount of people get killed by hippos in a year. You can fact check me on that. I just pulled it out of thin air. Hopefully I'm right, and if I'm wrong, let me know. It is a irrational fear, right? So I'm gonna have to I find things in my brain and be like, yeah, I'm gonna have to justify this irrational fear and make it rational because I want people to be scared. I don't want people to share my irrational fear with me. Well, maybe in terms of like, you know, a relatable portion, but not in the sense that like I'm gonna infect you with my irrational fear of sharks. And so deep blue sea, sharks, as well as heights. Those are my 3. I don't think I'm scared of anything else really. Like not even bugs. I'm not scared of bugs, even though like there's a lot of people that are scared of bugs. A ton. There's a ton of people that are scared of bugs. I don't know if it's an irrational fear of bugs. It's just really creepy. Bugs are just really creepy. Anything that crawls on the ground is really creepy. That's why when you see like a horror movie and they're crawling on the ground, it's not because they're a human being that's crawling on the ground. Well, I think it is the human being crawling on the ground, but it's not the fact that they're a ghost crawling on the ground. It's the fact that there are something that's crawling on the ground. If you have too low of a hurt box is like I'm saying this in gaming aspects. If your hurt box is too low that I can't hit you with a proper move or mechanic, then you're more of a threat to me, right? And that's what it is. So like those kind of things that scare people. So like I've seen people in TikTok or these like YouTube shorts or Instagram reels. I don't have Instagram, but I'm just saying that they are like in those, and they're putting bugs on their faces. Like one time there was this one post that I saw where a person put an entire giant praying mantis on their face, and they're completely okay with it. And they would put like tarantulas on their heads and crawling around their shoulders and stuff like that. They would put like giant moths the size of your entire face on their faces, and they'd be so okay with it. I'm like, no thank you. Even though I'm not scared of bugs, I also don't want to interact with bugs, right? I also don't want to interact with them. So there you go. But yeah, my fears of heights, deep sea, and sharks are actually a thing for me. Actually, when I was younger, like 10 and below, I would be so scared of sharks. And even though I lived in the Philippines, right? Even though I lived in the Philippines and we were surrounded, the entire country is surrounded by water, or the island that I lived in was surrounded by water, I couldn't, I still was so afraid of sharks. And not because I was attacked by a shark. I don't think that was the case. It was more the fact that like it was in the media. I hated it. I couldn't swim well, right? Because I was a very skinny and tiny Filipino boy that couldn't really do anything when a shark would be like going after me. There's no way. So that's one thing. I was so scared of sharks that when I moved to this country and I finally got the amenities of like a shower and stuff like that, right? By the way, for people that don't realize, there's very few showers out there in some of these third world countries. There's even in Southeast Asia, there's the locals don't really have showers and stuff like that. Like we had to, when I was living in the Philippines, I had to have a faucet, and then there's a massive bucket, right? Like a massive jug or barrel that could hold water, and we would take a little bucket, like a hand bucket, and we would dump water on our heads, and that's how we would get that's how we would get clean. So like we would take a bit of water, dunk it into our heads, and then we would get soaked, and then we would use, like, you know, soap and stuff, and then we would do the same thing over again. So we would just do that. So it's very economically, like, water economic, very, very nice. But there was a chance for, like, oh man, there's like maybe some random nasty stuff in there. But we didn't have those, right? We didn't have those, like the plumbing stuff. So first time I've ever had a shower, like a real one, was in when I moved into Canadiaville Townland, right? So when I moved down to Canada, I had my first experience of a shower, and it was nice. It was nice. It was actually nice. It was so nice that I thought that a shark would get me in there. Now hear me out, right? Like, oh, Damien, I can't believe it. Like, I can't believe that you think that a shark would come after you in your home, in the plumbing. Number one, I didn't even realize, right? I didn't have that, and I thought that it was akin to like a pool for me, right? So I kind of like expected there to be sharks around, like, oh my gosh, like there's a shark in here, oh my gosh. So it was very difficult for me to shower when I was a kid, because I would have like the shower, and you would put soap on your body, and you would wash your face with soap and stuff. But I was so scared of sharks getting at me that I needed to always open my eyes, right? I needed to always have my eyes open. And if I even closed my eyes, I thought it was done for. I thought it was over. I thought a shark was gonna get me, and it was over, right? If I had soap on my, if I had like shampoo, I had to make sure that the shampoo didn't touch my eyes. So I would do like some sort of maneuver with the shampoo, right? I had to do a maneuver with the shampoo so that it didn't get into my eyes. So that way I don't have to rub the suds away. And obviously rubbing, you have to close your eyes. I never wanted to close my eyes in the shower at all. That's how scared I was of sharks. Really, that's how scared I was of sharks. I was so scared of sharks that even in pools that has chlorine, knowingly there would be nothing that can survive in chlorinated water. Like, you know, if you had gills, there's nothing that you could do to survive there. I still was so scared of sharks, because it was like, dude, this is a big enough pool that a shark could be here. I did not want to swim at all. And that contributed to the fact that I was very, very bad at swimming, right? So I was so scared of them because I was so bad at swimming that it looped into I didn't want to swim because I was so scared, because I couldn't swim well, that I never just wanted to swim. I can swim. I'm just saying that, like, back in the day, I was really, really bad at swimming. I can swim now, that's what I'm saying, but like I was really bad at swimming. I was so scared of the deep side. Like, you know, there's a deep side of the pool, and there's a kiddie side of the pool. When I was like a little kid, I would always be at the kiddie side of the pool, where if I stood up, my body would still be above the pool. I mean, above the water. Like if I stood up, and it was not like, I did not want to go to anywhere that would like submerge my face. It was kind of crazy. Even with like one of those like inflatable little pool toys or whatever, like, you know, like you would put them on there and like do it. I would not in my entire life. I wouldn't. So I got rid of, so I was only, now I only have an irrational fear of the deep blue sea still, because of it's unknown, right? It's a deep blue sea. I think it's still unknown. Well, it's not. I think it's unknown. I know it's unknown. No one's ever explored the deep sea. Humankind has explored more of space than they have of our sea, like our deep parts of the ocean. So Ooh. Hold on, hiccups. I have to stop like drinking water or something before recording. What do you call this? Yeah, so the deep blue sea and stuff like that. I'm still scared of deep blue sea, but the heights bit, I'm not scared of heights anymore, and I'm not scared of sharks anymore. I'm still scared of the sea. So the way that I got over my fear of sharks was that like I just kind of grew up and I didn't really see the point of being scared of sharks anywhere. So there you go. I'm not scared of the showers anymore. That's for sure. Like them coming out of the shower anymore. So that's a thing. The heights portion though, I was scared of the heights, obviously because you didn't know how to fly, but I got over that fairly quickly. So I was scared of heights, and I knew this because if you've ever been on the edge of a cliff or on the edge of like the roof of your house or a building or something, and you look down over the edge, you kind of feel like someone's going to push you over. That's how I felt. That's how I felt every time when it was like I was scared of heights, right? So I was scared of heights. Every time I looked down, and it would scare me. It would freak me out. So there was one time in high school where we had to do a science project, physics science project, where we would have to protect an egg, just like a regular raw egg from like the grocery store. So like an uncracked raw egg, I would take that and protect it somehow, where if we tossed it over the edge of a certain height, then we would then it would like and it wouldn't crack when it landed, then we would pass that project, right? So it had to be, there's two criteria. It had to be light enough, like it had to be, so the lighter it is, the better mark. And if the egg survives or the egg stays uncracked, then it's also, you already pass, and you pass with a higher mark if it was lighter, right? So I used a Pringles can and stuffed it with like cotton balls and then wrapped that with like styrofoam and stuff like that. I didn't think about putting like the beans, like the protective beans or peanuts from packaging, or even what do you call those things? Even like the pimples, like the bubble wrap. Is it bubble wrap? It's bubble wrap. I didn't even think about bubble wrap. So I didn't pass that, but what I did was that I looked over, because the teacher said, all right, if you're ready to like test out your project, come up to the roof. And I'm just like, what is this? Is this safe, dude? Is this safe? This was like way back in like medieval times, right? So we had to go all the way up there. There was no security at all. We just kind of went up to the roof. So and when I looked down, as I was getting ready to drop my Pringles can with the egg in it, I looked down and I got so freaked out because I thought someone was gonna push me, even though the teacher's right there, nobody else is behind me. I thought that someone's gonna push me, so I did it quickly. I was like, ugh! And then and didn't pass. But like I get like the chills every time I look over over the edge. And I got over my fear of heights quick by just like riding a lot of roller coasters. I think roller coasters was the best one. Now I'm not scared of heights anymore. Now I know, like, and now I'm there to trust, like, okay, this roller coaster's not gonna break down. Thank goodness, everything's all good. Everything's good to go. But the fear of deep blue sea is still haunting me to this day, just because it's the unknown, right? So unknowns are still very freaky. Unknowns take you a long time to get over them, right? And there's really nothing else you can do. One thing that's the biggest downside to the ocean, okay? The biggest downside to the ocean is the fact that you can't really defend yourself when you're in the ocean, right? So we're all, like, humans are based, like, land-based creatures. Like, we're really good in land. Like, we can walk around, we can run, we can climb and stuff like that. We can do so many things on land. And even though, like, if you're trying to, like, you know how people are like, oh, I could definitely beat a bear. Oh, I can definitely beat a lion. Oh, I could definitely take on an entire clan of gorillas. Like, no, I'm pretty sure you can't, but I get what you're talking about, because you do feel better with your chances when you can do more things, right? So what I mean is doing more things is that a human can do more things on land than they can in sea and air, especially in sea. Because, yeah, you can't fly, right? You can't fly when you're up there, but at least you can breathe, right? When you're going down, when you're in, if you're in the sea, you can't breathe, right? You can't breathe. There's multiple ways for you to get unalived if you're in the ocean. Multiple ways. One of them is not being able to breathe. That's it. There's so many other ways also, like the deadly creatures there. If something tried to fight you, if literally you were out there, even fighting a tuna fish. Tuna fishes are huge. So if you fought a tuna fish, you would still be freaked out. Tuna fish is huge, and like you can't maneuver properly. You know, when you can't maneuver properly when you're in the ocean, you're very much in a completely different realm of living when you're in the ocean. You can't maneuver, you can't really do too much. No matter how much you try, you still need to breathe. The more you struggle, is just like, it's just crazy. So like anything is freaky down there, right? Anything is freaky down there. So when, like, let's say for example, when you know, like, you're just going down to the deep blue sea, you're just going down, down, like lower and lower and lower, and you go down there, and then it starts getting dark, right? Getting dark. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, it's getting dark, you know. And then you see a light. I'm like, oh, a light, that's awesome. So let's go get that light. Never do that, by the way. This is just a bit. You go down and get that light. Like, oh, maybe this is gonna be a savior. And that light starts to move around. Like, oh, maybe it's a fish trying to guide me to someplace. And then this fish, and then this light starts to like travel further and further away from you. And all of a sudden, the light disappears. I'm like, oh, where'd the light go? And then two other lights come up, and they're just like big, red, beady-eyed lights. And then water just starts gushing. And then that's it. Right? That is it. So, let me know what your irrational fear is. Just let me know what it is. I like to know. Explain it as well. What's your irrational fear? And do you still have it? Do you still have it? And if you don't, what was it? What was the catalyst for you not to have it anymore? Right? I want to know those things. But yeah. Thanks so much. Bye.